We are live again. Welcome back to my stream. Today is 23rd of March, Monday, 11:30 p.m. and we will be continuing on our route to meet new dogs and see how they interact and behave, and debunk the myth that stray dogs are unpredictable and dangerous. So yesterday I had to stop a bit early because it started raining, which was strange because it only rained on one side. By the time I went back a few kilometers, it was dry, extremely dry. So the sky looks clear today, so I hope today will be a good night for meeting some new dogs. The highlight of yesterday would be the pack of dogs who are trying to mate with the female dog in heat. It was a big group of dogs, young dogs, not young adult dogs, but peak of their physique and youth and strong and completely strangers to me because I have never met those dogs, not one of them. Mating is one of the few events where in a free roaming dog pack, the testosterone levels are pretty high, and there's a dog here, but he's like going behind some other dogs. So let's see. Testosterone levels are high and they pick a fight, so it's very rare that you find they say a lot of people here, so I don't want to freak them out. Maybe I should come to this place a bit later when people are less and try to interact when they are least distracted. So mating time is when the testosterone and is at peak, adrenaline is at peak, the tensions are high, when the females are less, reproduction is a vital part of any living being for that matter. The kind of aggression they show during mating time, the competition with the male aggression, everything is at peak levels. And yesterday was a testament that even during that peak, male aggression moments, it is selective. They don't. I was very close to those dogs, not one sign of aggression towards me or lashing out because I am in the vicinity blocking them. And if that happens, then it is a clear testament to the dog's intelligence, right? Like, they are not random creatures trying to randomly attack people. They are highly social and intelligent creatures with layers of complexity to how they think and perceive and respond to things. And even in such a tense situation where each dog has to compete with 10-12 other dogs and aggression is high, they were very selective in or they were very selective at whom they choose to show their aggression, right? Like it was very, I don't know how more clearly I can show that, but this is a proof, right? Like nobody does, no studies cover close proximity interaction with, big packs of free roaming dogs, especially during mating time, to show where the aggression goes. Like, are they just randomly aggressive because their testosterone levels are high, or are they very selectively aggressive? And the answer is pretty clear. They are selectively aggressive. I'm trying to, I will go through that small part where we went yesterday and saw the dogs. Today we will be doing a different route, but going on that different route, I will go through that small stretch where we met those dogs and see if they are still there, the competition is still there, what's happening. Let's hope we are lucky to come across them today at this time and see how things go. Again, just because I am doing does not mean any random person should go and do it with the dog, any random dog. If those are dogs that you have known in your community for a long time, you have a good relationship with them, maybe, just maybe you can, right? But then me doing is not an invitation for the viewers to just go and do it, right? Just because I'm standing there between the dogs doesn't equate to any person can go and stand there. There are a lot of signals I read subconsciously and consciously, which I might not be expressing while the stream plays. And I will try to, maybe this time I will try to explain the process while I'm with the dogs. Maybe I will try to, because I'm not used to this thing. It's pretty hard to, try to understand from the viewer's perspective and put it out there while I'm focusing on different things. With dogs, usually in that situation, a lot of things are happening very selectively. How I'm reading all those dogs, right? It's all the dogs in my proximity, how I'm reading them, what signals I'm getting from the dogs, also looking at the escape route for the dogs if something goes bad, and escape route for me, the small sphere of each dog's influence and where I'm standing in that group, and it's a constant reading of signals all the time. And my body language also, how I am presenting myself there, what state of mind I am in, all those factor into this scenario where I'm standing with all those dogs when they are in a very heightened state of, such a volatile state. So viewers, please don't go and do it because you see I am doing it, I will try to give more explanations, hopefully next time I will try to be more aware that the average viewer doesn't understand or see what I am seeing or what I am processing while I am with those dogs. So we will try to do that today. Fingers crossed that we are almost there. This is where we met those dogs yesterday. We are almost reaching that place. It was here, and yeah. The gang is not here. The gang was somewhere inside there, but it's a private property, so I'm not going to go there. There was a sweet dog here, 2 sweet dogs. Maybe they are also out. I didn't see them now. So our timing was not good and we didn't cross paths with those dogs. But no matter, our purpose today is to meet more dogs, cover a different route, a different region, a different group of dogs, and try to interact with them to show the behavior, right? Like the difference in behaviors, what I see, and so that you have a better, more objective view of how the baseline behavior is, no matter where you are, unless you are treating dogs so badly, like the community in a place is too cruel to the dogs. The baseline behavior of the dogs everywhere, the patterns are strikingly similar. The individual expressions of the dogs might differ, but the patterns are very strongly clear and similar. And I hope that the viewers watch this stream where I'm going to interact with various dogs and make an informed decision on how you look at stray dogs, rather than hear some ignorant douchebags using the stray dog issue as a political leverage and a problem to solve, so that they get a stronger political standing with the community around them. So don't fall for those douchebags, because this is a fucking unfair thing that such beautiful creatures are not criminalized because they can't speak for themselves, and a few cases of dog bites happening somewhere is not generalized across all dogs. That is a fucking unfair thing to do. Then a few cases of murders, a few cases of sexual harassment, molestation, rape, shouldn't that be generalized across all humans? It's a shitty morality, and it's sad that I have to go through this to show an empirical evidence of what the dogs are, and what the general behavior or characters of stray dogs are, and that should be the basis on which you should all decide whether stray dogs has to be treated or looked at in a more derogatory. There's like an old guy here. Let's see if he will. Very old guy, so it's an old skin infected guy, a mangled guy, very skin infected and skinny, and he's like surprised, so I will give him a few more, maybe he doesn't. He doesn't. Yeah, he is like surprised, so I will move a little bit further because it's instinctual for all dogs, right? Like especially if they are not sure or wary of someone, they do not crouch down and move their head down where they are the most vulnerable. He is still looking because I stopped, but he was actually eating it. Okay, yeah, he is eating. Very old dog, so maybe he's not skin infected, like old dogs lose a lot of fur and teeth. Unless you are directly approaching them with some other intention and showing a threatening sign, most dogs don't even react, right? Like they are cautious, they will look at you, they have to be careful because they don't know what you are here to do. They have had enough bad experiences from a lot of shitty people, so they have to look at everyone, right? No matter how good of an intention I come with, the dog doesn't know that, so for his own safety or her own safety, they have to be cautious. You might find some dogs barking, right? Like there was maybe 1 or 2 dogs who were barking at me, but then it was a fear driven bark, like it was not like an aggression bark. And the moment I tried to go near, they just bolt, right? Like they are not nowhere in the vicinity to even have a interaction. There's another dog here, let's see. There's 2 dogs here, and maybe, just maybe, oh, there's actually 3 dogs. Bah. Bah. So they're like confused, right? Like, why the fuck is somebody giving them cookies? So with so much of caution they are eating, right? Like they were not sure. I had to throw a few cookies for them to really understand that I am throwing cookies and not something else. So there's 1 male and 2 females, and yeah, he has a big head. Like, yeah, if you're not careful with him, I don't know, like he looks like he can cause some damage. But again, you know, they are always more of a caution than confrontation. And I think the white girl is pregnant. So you can look at the body language, right? Like the tails are down, and when they get more alert, the tail goes up straight, right? Like not a lot of shaking, just down. It's more of a, yeah. They try to walk away, right? Like the moment I go near, they're like, no. But then by the looks of it, you know, the male dog was, you know, his look can be also a look where he's extremely cautious and he can jump on you at any time. But it wasn't. And yeah, if somebody is scared, yeah, maybe they will pick up on that, and if he wants to challenge, he might get a bit confident. But the moment I went close, they just, you know, they just wanted to get away, right? Like no matter how confident they are. So these dogs might be from this area, and hopefully I will meet them. Again, but these are 3 new dogs, not friendly, right? Like you can see how wary they are, how their body language is, and if I didn't put the cookies, most probably they will try to run away, right? They will look at me for some time, and if I'm not moving, then they know that I'm up to something, right? Because I usually in their world, unless you want to do something, you don't focus on something. So if I keep standing there focusing on the dogs, then they will get scared, and then they will try to move away, go under a vehicle or go into the dark and keep the distance, because otherwise they have to constantly process and monitor my actions, and it's a lot of mental energy which they don't want to normally waste away, especially when they don't have like a constant food source. For us humans, it's always easy. I actually met a few dogs there the last time. Maybe let's go there. Right when it started raining, I came on this route, and there were like 3 or 4 huge dogs, right? Like I wanted to still, it was after the stream, but I still wanted to see if they come, but then by the time I had to remove my raincoat and get the treats and things, they just went into the big warehouse, and I couldn't see them. There was one sweet guy, one white guy, who looked like he had a dislocation or some injury, so he was limping a bit, and he stood around, but all the other dogs went. So I'm just trying to go there and see if they are there, because they were like huge dogs, and and these dogs know their boundaries, and oh no, they are not there. So they were here yesterday and they are not here. Maybe hiding under, but no. I did hear some barking, so there's one guy here. Let's see. Two dogs. Bah. Two big healthy dogs. Bah. Bah. Oh no, they are scared, so they don't have much human interaction. There's like 3 dogs actually here. I don't know if you can see. 1, 2, and there's one there. They're still wary, so I will have to move for them to eat. Hey. Oh, he's such an asshole. Oh, he's such an asshole. No. Bah. Bah. Hey. No. എനിക്കിവിടെ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലോ ഇവിടെ വാ 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 അത് കഴിക്കും. Oh, the poor dog. So he is an asshole. You can see, I don't know if it was dark enough to see, but he had a few cookies here and he wouldn't let the other dog eat. So I threw more cookies and to the other dog, and he just ran, right, like an asshole he is. He just ran. He left his cookies. He went to eat the other cookies so that, you know, the other dog doesn't get but all of them are scared of me, so I cannot like separate them, because the moment I separate the bully, the timid dog will also get scared and run away. But I could just tell him off, right? Like at one moment I could just get in between, but the timid dog ran away. Look at the asshole eating now. So so just like humans, you know, just because they are dogs doesn't mean they are all sweet, right? Like they come in all shapes and sizes and all kinds of different behaviors, like all kinds of different behaviors. So the third one is here, but I don't know if he റോഡിന് മുമ്പിലേക്കില്ല, മാറി ഇവിടുന്ന്. And you can see there are a lot of vehicles coming, right? So they have to be so I just put it there. Now he knows he will go and he will eat it. And here he is. Again, timid dog, but he came, right? Like he came right after I put the cookies, and he's eating. So unlike wild animals, one thing that an average human don't realize is, even if you feed a wild animal, doesn't mean they will be, you know, behaving in a predictable way with you, because their life has been in the wild. But these dogs have been coexisting with humans. Dogs have been coexisting with humans for as far as we can remember. And they have been evolutionarily, you know, molded in such a way that they have the potential for they have the potential for proper human interaction. And all living things need food for survival, and for dogs, part of them being tamed with us, with us humans, is the fact that we needed, we both were vulnerable at one point, but you know, combining or becoming a team, we could do a lot of things, and that is what helped early humans to get an edge over other animals when they were weak, and you know, they were just, when we had not developed enough and methods to fight against all the wild animals. That's where the dogs helped us. And since then they have been wired to be in a way, be responsive to humans, respond to humans in a sensible way, because only with that can we truly create a relationship that helps us in our understanding of, not understanding, but helps us in creating a more civilized community. Dogs were a part of that. So when you feed a street dog, it's not going to randomly attack you. They show gratitude because they understand how hard it is for them to live in a city, and all their food comes from, oh, that's a big gang. Let's see. I just stopped right in front. Three of them ran. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dogs, and 2 of them are injured. Like this guy, he has some injury on his paw, not his paw, I think on his scapula. Oh, this is a very mangy girl, and she has some growth. Oh, yo ba. I don't want to touch the mangy girl, but I will see. Oh, there's one more. 8 dogs, 8 big dogs. Most of them are skinny, so I think I might have to. Some of them are very healthy. Oh, such a sweet bite. And there's a mama dog. She's so sweet. You can look at the. I have to be careful where I keep my treats because they will just. Tara, wait. Hey, not at me. There's a new dog. So they are barking at the black guy. Huh? Oh, yo. So, oh. She was a bit scared and she was staying far, but oh, yo, എന്താണ് നിനക്ക് ബിസ്ക്കറ്റ് വേണോ? Oh yeah, so I will have to give them separately because oh, yo, ba. So if you heard that, he's like a bit scared. He's like not confident like these dogs, right? They're from one pack, but I will have to give more to the mangy girl. So I think the white and that guy is the alpha, but a funny alpha because he is like limping so hard. Mama dog needs more cookies, so I will give her more. She's scared. So he was making the loud noise, like a complaining noise. So two of them are, I think three of them are, maybe she's also okay, I could touch her maybe, but she's mangy, so I don't want to touch her and then spread the mange to other dogs. So one of the goals from the stream is I hope that people see and help me to do treatments, because the medicines are not cheap. I can do the treatments because I have been doing it for a long time now. I'm finishing a lot of cookies here. So you could see the bark, right? Like, but it was still a scared bark because he's not. Yeah, so 3 dogs are not part of the pack, and the concept of pack is loose, right? Because one of the dogs that ran away, it was here. So they tolerate each other, but when it comes to resources, so you can see the guy, right? He's not bullying this dog. Even though she went to get his food, he was chasing away other dogs. So it gives you a beautiful insight into how the pack dynamics work, right? Like, even though he is the alpha and he was bullying the other dogs, when it came to his own pack, he was selective and he did not even make any sign, right? He did not growl, he did not show aggression, he just let her eat it. So they are not mindless creatures, right? To be able to form social packs, to be able to recognize who is part of the pack, who is not part of the pack, whom they can trust, whom they cannot trust, are complex expressions of intelligence. And brushing them aside as unpredictable beasts is unfair to these beautiful creatures. Being a sweet boy and being a good alpha, I will give him one more. So this is like a yard to keep I don't know, like a lot of construction material, so it's understandable why these dogs are, there's a big group of dogs here, right? Lot of open space, lot of things to hide under, very few people frequenting here. So we have 1 2 3 4 5, 1 ran away, 6 7 8 9 dogs. There are a few other dogs. The other scared dogs are up front. I will have to put a few more here because they might chase behind me, so I will have to do that. And then I feel bad for these 2 dogs because so you can see him, This also gives a good insight into what happens when a dog becomes solitary. They have to fend for themselves. There's no support, nothing. Every moment matters, and it's a life and death situation at any point. So they would be more wary and elusive to any humans, right? Like what you saw clearly. And the contrast was the pack of dogs there. Some of them were scared, a bit worried, but even when I put the first few treats, they were a bit cautious. But then the two sweet dogs in that group, when they came forward and when they interacted with me, the whole energy of the place changed, right? Like all the dogs, they were starting to feel more confident and calm in my presence, and then they just chose to, then they were more confident to chase the dogs away because they wanted the treats for themselves. You have to check the map to see if I'm going in the right direction. And also, people, if you are feeding dogs cookies or anything, make sure you don't litter anywhere, right? Like all the wrappers and things. Be a responsible human and dispose it in the right place, or carry it with you and dispose it at your home. You don't just take the liberty and just throw your trash randomly on the street. That's like one of the shittiest thing you can do as a human. It's annoying when you don't have one more person to do some of the directing and other things, because I have to always manage it by myself. And there's a lot of general understanding about dogs, or whatever is known, or certain myths I want to debunk, right? Like, just because a dog is in a pack doesn't mean their default is to attack. They form a pack for their own survival first before anything else. Everything else comes later. And they are very selective. If you go doing some threatening things, most of the dogs would still run away. But then some of the dogs who had a hard life, who had to fight with a lot of dogs, and who became like a huge dog, survival through brutal fights. Of course, after that makes them a more, gives them more confidence. They are more sure about what they like, what they don't like, what they want to tolerate, and maybe they will react. So but then any human would, right? Like if you are being an asshole to a random person, the chances of getting smacked by them is very high. I would say it's the same for dogs. Just be a decent person, interact with them decently, and you get a very beautiful interaction and possibly a beautiful relationship. That's the best part, or the most interesting part for me out of this. Oh, there were some elephants here. Buying a puppy at a few weeks or couple months old, and you being the provider for that animal throughout their life, and them being attached to you since an infant, is not the same as a fully adult dog whom you have never met, choosing to show trust in you. What a stupid bunch of people. They were decent at least, they are not blocking the road in a shitty way, but keeping a majestic creature like an elephant and forcing it to hear this sound at this time of the night, like, cruel. It's one of the worst cruelty you can do, right? Like, death is better than being kept alive to be entertained for tiny humans' entertainment. They are majestic creatures. I think of all the land animals, I think elephants come first. Oh, this is a big gang. Let's see if they will come. Only one came. I think the other dogs are waiting. One guy came, so those puppies. Pogo. And they have puppies, so I have to be a bit careful because I don't know these dogs. These are all new dogs. Look at the puppy behind. Bah. A couple of them are confused. They're like, what's happening? Bah. Very scared gang. I don't know how the people here are to the dogs. So this is like their base, I think. There's somewhere here the puppies stay, so they let the puppies be here and the adults were going. That is when I called them, right? They just came in front. I had to call them because any interaction they have with humans is always pretty bad, and they don't know, so they would not. So I have to like show them, right? Like cookies. Without proximity, then I cannot say much about their, behavior or know anything, right? If they are keeping their distance and being fearful, it's always going to be like that. And for them, that is their safety, and that is their default. Look at all the dogs I have met. There was a puppy there, like a young dog, and he just bolted right the moment I stopped. Again, with puppies, they are more, it goes both ways. We have seen some puppies, they were just unbothered. They saw me, they saw that I am coming to them, and they're just too excited and happy to just meet me. And then there are puppies like this who are extremely scared. I don't think any of these people who talk about the stray dog issue and the problems or anything are in any way qualified or capable of making statements about dogs, because they don't know shit about dogs. And I want people to see how the dogs are generally, right? That is why I'm going around to all these new dogs around the city, showing you how they behave, what it takes to get them to come and have an interaction, and what sort of interactions they still do and what potential they hold. They are not mindless creatures. Please at least get that into your minds. Other things can be left to interpretation, but they are not mindless creatures. And every interaction shows, a different facet to their behavior. And I'm doing this because I don't think anyone has done something of this sort, where you interact with as many stray dogs. Like all the studies, all the research or whatever usually involves a few dogs, maybe a few thousand, maximum 1,000, and that is also far observation, right? Because you don't want to interact and influence the observations, which I can understand for wild animals. But if you are observing stray dogs on the street, you have to interact, because even if you are not interacting, these dogs are interacting with a lot of people, and all of that decides how they usually behave in a city. So the dogs in the city are not just living on their own. They try to avoid humans, but doesn't mean they don't come across humans among hundreds or thousands or millions of people in a city, especially cities in India. Even if you didn't have an interaction, a lot of other people did influence or interact with these people. There's a cat. It's like a tomcat eating something. He might have caught something. So yeah, a stray dogs or urban population of dogs have a different reality. And do you want to rather observe the dogs who had bad experiences from some shitty people and then base your whole theory or hypothesis on those observations? That is a flawed premise. The best objective way to look at it is, if you know the rules of engagement or you understand dog behavior and dog language, go and interact with as many different dogs as possible, and then use that as your study, right? Like as your standard, because that will show you there's a dog with 4 let's see. So you can see, right? One dog, 1, 2, 3, 4. One puppy ran to this side. I think one is like pretty friendly. Look at that. So I will wait, right? I will wait for the mom to look and see and feel comfortable before I start touching the puppies. So they are so cute. Oh, she's not giving for the puppies. Either she's the mom or she's like the elder female dog. Alright. or it could be the mom as well. So oh, look at that. I should not make quick movements because some puppies are scared. This one is bah. Looks like a few bachelors stay in the house opposite, so the puppy tries to come, right? Like I have to keep my hand next to her and show. Oh, look at that, being puppy. That's what you call territorial behavior. I think that dog is also friendly, but so a new dog came and then they just went for the new dog. Look at one of the scared ones, he ran the first. Oh. I hope these puppies stay well and don't get attacked by or hit by vehicles, or if people around here don't make a good relationship with these dogs, they are going to become big dogs in a couple of months, and you don't want such big dogs to be scared of humans, right? Like be scared and lash out and be that kind of a threat to humans. You would rather just feed them randomly, right? To spend a few minutes with them every day. You don't even need to spend a lot of time. If I could do that in such a short time, there's not really much excuse to not do it, right? Like, and if you have a group of friendly dogs in your neighborhood, then that would prevent a group of unfriendly dogs ever making this neighborhood their home. It's sad that most people, those especially the Along this route we have seen quite a few dogs who are limp, running around with a limp. So most probably they were hit by vehicles, because this is a very the roads are curvy and it's not that bad. So especially by evening, there's not much activity here, so all the vehicles do come pretty fast, and if the dogs are carelessly staying on the road, extremely high chance of getting hit. See some dogs there. Let's see. Oh no. Those were just some chairs. Look like dogs from far, but it wasn't. relatively smaller but main road. So let's see what we find on this road. Mama dog, but she's scared. Thought she is hungry, but I will leave that there and go. She will go and eat it. There is a white guy on the opposite side, just chilling out on the road. I hope to see like big packs of dogs again, so that is where the whole spectrum gets more visible. Alone dogs are a bit more scared because they don't have anyone watching their back. There was one more dog there. Only when you might have noticed almost most places the dogs are pretty healthy, like either people are feeding them or there's enough ways to sustain a healthy population of dogs. But then when you go to like the 8 dogs we saw in the yard with the limping alpha dog, so those places there's not many homes around and there might be other packs which, you know, in the residential areas with all the food source, so they look a bit skinny and not well. Exactly for that reason they're not getting enough food. There are quite some big farms around here, just off the main road where there could be dogs, and less chance for the dogs to be around on this road. If we are lucky we will find some. I will try to go through a different route, but being residential area I don't want to cause unnecessary trouble or nuisance if the dogs start barking. surprised I'm not finding dogs on this stretch. Lot of wild areas, lot of open spaces, and maybe wrong timing. Nicer to drive through this part because the air is much cleaner. There's way less dust flying around. The air is cooler. But sadly, no dogs around. Maybe the dogs in this place have a different hangout spot which is not on this road. There's a different inside route I want to try out. I have never been through there. This is one of the bigger main roads. We might have found some dogs there, but I'm going into a different route now, a bit inside residential area. the chances that the dogs in these areas are out on the main road at this time. That would suck. I really hope there might be dogs here, but surprisingly not one dog I could see. Not even a house dog or a bark. dog in this place. That's because of the inside roads. I have to like keep stopping, check my map, and keep going, which is a pain in the ass. I will just try to go to the right because they say it's like on a river bank. Maybe, just maybe, the dogs are chilling at the river bank. I don't know how far along I can go, but they do show a road, so I will just try it out because the road is pretty smooth. So a nice place to, if you had money, maybe a nice place to buy a house because it's not too far from the city but far enough to be quiet and tranquil. There's the river, but no dogs in sight. That's a bit disappointing, all this inside roads and not one dog in sight. Not a dog in sight. And now we have come back to the main road, but we will be turning in and going to an inside road. So let me just stop, and this is annoying to keep having to check all the time because I don't know these roads well. confusing routes, and I will have to keep checking again and again. I don't know how long my device will stay, because it's saying it's getting very hot. Come on, at least here. There's a white girl here, but I don't think she is. She's a bit funny. She's still cautious. She's looking at me when every small movement I make. She's looking up because she doesn't want to be in a vulnerable state while she is eating and be at risk of, anything from my side. She's wagging her tail slowly. She is extremely cautious, so she will not. She likes the cookies, so. Oh, my bag just slid down and she got spooked. There was one more dog I saw. That's the dog I saw first, but I think he's like, nope. response for almost all the dogs I saw is flight. But then I don't want to show you that because survival is a very tricky thing for animals, and if they make one mistake, that is the end of it, right? Like, I saw 2 more dogs. But they're scared. She's on the other side. She was here, but again, my point, the moment I stopped, she chose flight. She didn't even wait to see what I'm doing, right? Like, she was that scared, and with extremely good reason. There's an old dog here. He's also running. The moment he saw that I'm stopping, oh, he's running. So you can imagine, right? Like, almost all the dogs, a lot of the friendly ones also, the default response is flight, not fight. So it's very selective, right? Like, them choosing to get aggressive is not a random, unpredictable action. Either it's misplaced reaction for some cruelty some idiot showed them, and the people are not to blame. And taking extreme actions against these dogs for people's stupidity is unfair. Every interaction I am making is a point proven towards that. There's a road to the right. Maybe I will go that way, or should I go the next way? Like a big stretch of empty road to the right. Maybe I will just go through there. Lot of paddy fields around. extremely nice. Like, all the concrete jungles. In the hope that I might see some big packs of dogs. But I think I might be disappointed. Maybe not here. Let's when I go further ahead, there might be. One dog right in the center. He's running. Oh. Come back and sniff it, right? He thought I'm chasing him, so this is the default reaction, right, for a dog. The moment they see you, they're like, oh shit. And you can see the fear in his eyes. He's like, oh no, what is going to happen to me? There was a festival here also. There's like elephant shit on the road. Like, imagine inflicting the worst kind of cruelty to the embodiment of God in a place where they claim to worship God. What can be more hypocritical than that? As I go more outskirts from the city, maybe the dogs are more active much earlier in the night, and then they take a big long rest, and then they have some more activity early in the morning, right before humans are up, so that they can tire themselves out again for a long nap for the next night. side road, and again no sign of dogs. Oh, there's one dog, but I think it's like a house dog because he's in the house under the vehicle. Or they have again some nice field where they all chill out, and don't have to deal with bother with any traffic or humans. Oh, look at that. Oju. Papa. Ooh. Huh? So, two sweet dogs, he just sat down. There was one adult dog somewhere far away there, but I think he just scooted when he saw that I stopped here. She's a bit shy, but it is understandable. Two sweet dogs. Poop. 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 Because this one is a feisty one, so I have to give them separately so that they both get a fair share. So this is a male, that's a female, so it's not a she. But this guy also has a very feminine face. Like two adult dogs there. Let's see. Oh, she's a grandmommy. So one is a house dog, right? Like, so most Look at her body language, right? She's like going down. She's hungry, so oh, she's old, so I will give her more. Look at that guy, he's scared. One of the treats actually fell on his head and he winced a bit. So you can see the body language, that she's crouching a lot even though she's an old dog. Pa. Pa. So just because she's wagging the tail and she looks cute doesn't mean you go and touch like that, right? Like, you have to let them come to you, and if they don't want to come, it's fine. You just not all of them want to be touched. Pa. Pa. And if you try to touch, maybe she will bite at that moment, right? Every sound, every movement I make, she gets scared, right? Like, look at that. So you saw, right? Like, she is wagging. That's because she's happy that somebody is coming and giving her something nice. But that is not an invitation to touch, right? People mistake it just because they crouch down and wag their tail strongly. You'll be like, oh, no, so sweet, and you go and touch the face, or like, and that is when they will bite, because they are scared, right? Because they don't know, they have never had an interaction, or they are not trusting of a new person that quick. So you should give them time, and they show it in different ways. There are some puppies who come, maybe if you have seen the past streams, there were some puppies who would come like that with the same body language, but because they are puppies, they are not, and when they come, it's a different sign, and you can touch them. But an old dog like this with a lot of life experience, it's a different sign. Emotions may be same, but the interactions need not be same. So it's contextual. You have to read the whole thing, not just the certain cartoonish crouching down and wagging tails. There are different nuances to it, and it's always contextual, and there's a bigger picture that you need to read and constantly be aware of when you are going to handle dogs. And this was a prime example. She's a very sweet dog, right? Like, very sweet. But she may not be very comfortable with a random person just touching her like that. So you have to be careful. You need to read the signs, and if the dog shows that they are not comfortable, like you saw, like when I that's why I showed trying to touch her on the top, and she just backed off, which is a clear sign. She has some boundaries, and you have to, if you don't read it and respect it and keep your distance and do something stupid, yes, you will get bit. It's very obvious, even with such sweet dogs. Getting bit is a possibility. want to get bit by, you know, a dog that is so sweet, because when you lose the trust of a very sweet dog, it's much harder to get it back. So always know what you are doing, understand the dogs, read the dogs. If you can't do that, back off and give the dog the space. You can't just go and touch random humans, right? That's the same morality with dogs. Some of them lets you, some of them are very happy, some of them are not, and you not reading the signs and getting bit is not the dog's fault, it's your fucking fault. Back on the main road, and we will go some distance through here, and then we will get into another small road which will take us through the inside route. If I go through these roads, you know, so many inside roads, how many dogs am I missing when I take the, you know, when I don't go through certain routes? The female is a boss. She's an old dog, but she's like, don't you dare. Ba. 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 Maybe I need to get down for them to come to me. you have to take your time, right? Like, so you can see like she sniffed my hand, but then there's not much signal she's giving out. She's okay, like, because I whistled, they just came running, but other than that there's not much context. And she's an old, pretty adult dog, so I have to be careful, right? If I don't want to get bit, I need to understand the nuances and make better decisions. Petting dogs is a nice thing, but not all dogs are used to petting. If it's a dog who has lived out on the street most of their lives and had few human interactions, they do not understand the concept of touching. And for them, a strange individual touching usually is an act of aggression or hostility. They don't let those whom they don't trust come near their personal space. So, but two nice dogs, like the guy bigger than her, but she dictates. He just follows her. So most dogs, gives you a chance, right? Like, gives you a chance for a sane interaction. And how can we just ignore that and term them much harshly? That's like a big go down. Maybe there are a few dogs there. So these were like, they didn't even stop, right? Like, okay, one is coming. Ba. They might come. They saw it, but they are scared, right? Like, the moment they saw me, they're like, oh shit. It was a big group, so I wanted to interact with them, but you can see how the vehicles go this road, right? Like, it's a pretty big road and pretty risky for that matter. I thought I saw one dog. There might have been one dog there. Turn here somewhere. I will have to stop again and check the damn thing. Like, this is annoying me. route through here. Maybe I'll just go through there. That was a black cat lying on the road. Do you think that equates to me getting some bad luck? I hope not. Not especially not in this route, because confusing as fuck. I think both roads lead to the same road. There's a big gang. Oh, look at that, she just came. Oh, she fuck. So he is not used to oh. So we have 4 dogs. The mama dog is sweet, right? Like So this is the friendly dog who came to me, who's barking. I have to leave him here because she's not barking at me. You can see she's barking at somewhere else. So just because she's barking, should she be called a aggressive dog? You can see, right, like how sweet that dog is. She's an independent dog. I think she knows to fend for herself, and but that doesn't mean she has not understood the nuance of, what human interaction could bring her, which is very clear from her behavior, right? Like the moment I stopped and whistled, these are new dogs. I have never met these dogs, and it's very evident, right, from the interactions I have with them, that they are not used to me, but still the quality of interactions they choose to have. There's like 3 dogs here. Let's see. Everyone flinches first, right? Like, so I will not give treats now. Like, look at them. Papa. Oh, yo, look at that. So this one is, I think she is used to humans. Look at that. Look at how. No. Bah. They are well fed. You can see, she's a bit on the chubby side. He looks very smart. Look at that ears. Oh, Jo, look at that. I think it's her baby. Can you get it? From the looks of it, I think the black dog is that, but I think this one is his kid because the ears look strikingly similar. No. He is cautious, so he has not moved from there. I put 2 pieces of cookies. He's not. Oh, Joe. Pote yan. Eh? Pote. Poop. Poop. So he's cautious, right? Like, you can see he's moving back. So. Oh, Joe. I'm a goodie. Tarju goodie. So these two are cautious, but you can see. No. Again cautious, right? Not aggressive or anything. This one got spooked a bit because the moment I came, he was like a little bit of, a high pitched growl or a whine. Usually the sign of, to show, that's usually a sign that I'm a bit concerned, don't come near me. So that was the sign it's about. And when she came, everything changed. I don't do. Tara, wait. To keep the cover a bit high because otherwise she will just she's still sitting here expectantly. Oh, yo. നല്ല തടികളല്ലേ ഇനി വേണോ നിനക്ക്? Okay. You can see the difference, right? Like how they respond to the dogs in their pack and how they respond to me because I'm a new person. Of course, I'm not threatening or intimidating, but just the confidence, right? Like just the confidence to walk up to them, that's enough to scare them, most of them. Such a macho guy. He's like, nope, I will not eat it. Cheri, pote. We don't need much treats. I'm just happy to see her and her kid, and they are well fed. Probably the people in around this shop or the roads where I expected to see dogs, I didn't see. Where I was least expecting, I saw more dogs. So I wanted to stop only to see this, but the dogs are coming behind me. I don't want them to come. They are here. Look at that. Oh, look at him go. Like, that's a nice physique. Oh, the puppy is going to the road. Or maybe this is where they hang out, right? Like, what he's doing there. He's like, maybe he saw a rat and he's just focused there. I might have to stop my stream soon because my phone is overheating like crazy. I just there's another tree dog. I hope the fat girl doesn't come here. Ah. So there's 4 dogs here, two here, 2 there. He is a confident dog, like, look at, and there's a house dog there, and he's not happy that I stopped here. The dogs don't care, but the house dog, he needs to protect his house, and he is barking. So I will move from here because maybe the house people might get up just because, you know, they know how their dog barks for random things and when people are around. Dogs here. But yeah, they are like very scared, right? Like I threw a few cookies and now yeah. In some of these interactions there should be a more intimidating altercations, right? Like when I come, maybe a few dogs should be barking more, trying to intimidate me more instead of running away. What they claim dogs are like, that is true. There should have been at least a few cases, memorable cases like that, right? Where I'm also feeling a bit unnerved because there's like these dogs waiting to charge at me, unsure about what's happening. So far, none. There were some dogs who were cautious, right? Who comes close to me, sniffs my hand, or just stand a few feet apart and just try to sniff hard, try to get my scent. And some were huge dogs, right? Like big heads and impressive bite force. Like from the looks of their face, like the jaws, the snout, they can cause some serious damage. And they look like they also know that, because they are like, it's not fear in their eyes, it's more about a concern, right? Like maybe should I get into a fight or I should just walk away, but it's not fear. So in some instances I have to be a bit worried, like I'm like maybe the dog might think otherwise and decide to go on the offensive. There are a few dogs who look like they could do that, but to some of them I would try to go to them, right? Like I will give them, this is an impressive house, wow, how the fuck do they make so much money? So there were a few dogs that looked like that, right? And then I would just stay around with other dogs in their vicinity, and then I try to push my luck, right? Like I try to go to them just to see or gauge what they are about. And it's always avoidance. Like even the smartest dogs know not to mess with a human, right? Maybe with small kids, if the kids have thrown something or teased them or did something to annoy them at some point, most of them choose to avoid, because they know the price they have to pay for getting into an altercation with a human is a heavy price, sometimes with their life. And they see that in their own experiences, or they see that happening with other dogs or their parents, and that temperament is passed on. For a person who doesn't know dogs, I can understand that being the default reaction or response to a dog being of fear is understandable. But don't let that fear dictate what kind of extreme measures you will choose to do with that dog. There's one dog here. Bah. And she's just running because there's this. The more I stay here, she will not come. The moment I go, she will come and sniff those cookies. And she is like I think she also has given birth, because her teeth look like she has given. Okay, she is coming back. There was another white, bigger dog there, and he looked sweet, but he was like a bit concerned. I threw a few treats and he ran. Maybe he will realize it and come back, right? Like me just stopping here, all of a sudden a new person just throwing things. Better to run than to stay. If all the human interactions has been like that, yes. There's 3 dogs, one here, 2. more dogs, so I will maybe throw them over there. Yeah, default reaction is to run, get the fuck away from me. I need to get one more pack. He is there. I thought he will run, but no. Such a sad thing that we coexist, we share this planet. They have nowhere else to go. We are all, we did not exist by choice, but we can coexist by choice. Seeing ignorant, retarded humans making statements about dogs in such a way, and I can live in a world without these idiots, but I think I would be depressed if I have to live in a world without dogs. Not the pets that you can buy from the shop, right? But truly independent dogs who decide to have a certain level of social interaction with you. That's fucking, I don't know why is that not an amazing thing? No pets can ever bring that. An adult animal of a different species, no different language, choosing to communicate with you in a way that you can understand if you give it time is the most beautiful thing. Junction, and again I have to check again. My phone charges. Like almost over, like 13% left, which is shitty considering it's overheating and losing charge because of that. Maybe it's not built for streaming like this. kind of have a feeling that oh, look at that. Oh, Jojo. Hey, Jojo. Looks like a sweet dog, but I will definitely have to cover this route when I have higher charge. I think I could have interacted with that guy. He was so sweet. Like, his face looked so cute. And you can see the sadness, right? Like, somebody is choosing to trying to get their attention, not to do shitty things, but to give them some food. Alright, then I will take my leave, and because my charge is over, so I shall see you guys soon. I hope this was educational enough for you. So have a good night and stay safe.